Have you ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels? Making these big, ambitious plans, but you somehow end up right back where you started? Well, today we are cracking open Atomic Habits by James Clear to uncover a system that actually finally works. Let's dive in.
We've all been there, right? You get that huge burst of motivation on New Year's, and by February, it's gone. It's so easy to blame ourselves, to think, oh, I just don't have enough willpower. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the real problem is the system you're using?
Now this is the core idea of the whole book, and it is so powerful. Just picture a plane taking off from LA, heading for New York. If the pilot changes the heading by just 3 degrees, a tiny shift you'd never even notice at takeoff, that plane ends up in Washington, D.C. That is exactly what our tiny daily habits are doing to the trajectory of our lives. So, if these huge, life-altering changes almost always fail, what's the alternative? What actually works? Well, the answer is surprisingly small. It's all about the incredible power of getting just 1% better. I know, it sounds almost laughably insignificant, but trust me, the results are anything but. Okay, let's just look at the math for a second, because this is where things get kind of mind-blowing. If you improve by just 1% every day for a year, you don't end up 365% better. No, because of the magic of compounding, you end up nearly 38 times better. That's not just improvement, that's a complete transformation. But here's the really crucial part. This force, it works both ways. Yeah, those small positive habits compound into massive success. But those little, harmless, bad habits, that tiny bit of stress, that one poor choice, they compound too, dragging you down until you're left with pretty much nothing. The stakes, you see, are incredibly high. So why is it so ridiculously hard to stick with good habits, even when we know all this? It's because progress is never a straight line. In the beginning, there's this gap, what James Clear calls the valley of disappointment. It's that frustrating period where you're putting in all the work, but you're just not seeing the results yet. This is the danger zone. This is where most people quit, right before the big breakthrough is about to happen.
Okay, so how do we push through that valley? How do we get to the other side? This is where a major, fundamental mindset shift is needed. It is time to stop obsessing over goals and start building truly effective systems.
So what's the actual difference? Well, a goal is the result you want. Let's say to run a marathon. A system, on the other hand, is the process that gets you there. It's your training schedule. It's what you eat. It's your sleep routine. The system is the part you can actually control every single day.
This quote really says it all, doesn't it? Think about it for a second. In almost any field, the winners and the losers often have the very same goals. So the goal itself clearly isn't what separates them. The real difference maker is having a reliable system that guarantees you're making progress even on the days you don't feel like it.
You see, real, lasting change happens on 3 different levels. Most of us, we start from the outside in. We focus on the outcome, what we want to get. But the most powerful change starts from the inside out, with your identity. The goal isn't to run a 5K, the goal is to become a runner. The goal isn't to write a book, it's to become a writer. That small shift in how you see yourself, it's a total game changer.
Okay, so under the hood, every single habit you have, good, bad, whatever, it follows this exact same 4-step loop. Your phone buzzes, that's the cue. You suddenly feel that urge to see who it is, that's the craving. You pick up the phone, the response, and you satisfy your curiosity, the reward. This little loop is running our lives pretty much 24/7, whether we realize it or not.
All right, so if that habit loop is the engine that drives all our behaviors, then these 4 laws of change are basically the user's manual. This is your practical hands-on toolkit that you can use to consciously take control and re-engineer your own habits.
And here it is. This is the core framework of the entire book. You want to build a good habit? Simple. You make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. And what about breaking a bad one? You just flip it. You make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. It's so elegant, it's so powerful, and honestly, it's that simple.
All right, that's enough theory. Let's see how this stuff actually plays out in the real world. We're going to take 2 super common goals. 1, building a workout habit, and 2, breaking that pesky social media addiction we all know and love.
So, first up, the classic, getting into shape. Now, instead of that vague promise to work out more, which, let's be honest, is a goal that's basically doomed from the start, we're going to build a system that makes it almost impossible not to work out. and we're going to use our 4 laws to do it.
Okay, so to make it obvious, you lay out your workout clothes the night before. They're right there, no excuses. To make it attractive, you use a trick called temptation bundling. Maybe you only let yourself listen to your favorite podcast when you're at the gym. To make it easy, you start with the 2-minute rule. Your only goal is to put on your shoes and stretch. Anyone can do that. And to make it satisfying, you get that little dopamine hit from putting a big X on your calendar. Boom, a successful day.
Now let's tackle the big one, a habit that I think most of us are at least a little bit guilty of, that mindless, endless scrolling. We're going to take our 4 laws, flip them around, and just dismantle this habit piece by piece.
First, make it invisible. Delete the apps from your home screen. Even better, just leave your phone in another room entirely. Second, make it unattractive. Reframe it in your mind. Ask yourself, am I being a passive consumer right now, or could I be an active creator? Third, make it difficult. Bury your phone in a drawer. Add some friction between you and the habit. And finally, make it unsatisfying. Make a pact with a friend. If they catch you scrolling, you owe them $10. All of a sudden, it's not quite so fun anymore, is it?
You know, at the end of the day, this whole framework, it's really about starting small. It is not about some massive, painful overhaul you have to do overnight. It's about those tiny, atomic changes that build on each other day after day until they create truly remarkable results. So, the only question left to ask is this: what is the one small 1% change that you are going to make today?